In a previous short, I was speaking about this broken rear motor mount and axle differential gearbox assembly on the Tamiya Hornet, and this is the offending piece of 4mm steel bar that acts as the axle that goes through here. The whole thing is suspended from. That is a very difficult part to get. In fact, the one I'd ordered in my previous video has been cancelled because it will take at least 6 weeks for the supplier in America to get one from Japan, and then another 3 to 4 weeks to get it to Australia, plus another $30 in postage, even though the part is only about $5 worth. So it left me trying to find alternatives where I could get 4mm steel rod. One thing I had considered is threaded rod. Thought maybe if I could get something the right diameter. It actually only acts as a bar, so it wouldn't matter if it was threaded. However, I couldn't find anything the right dimensions. Before I left on a weekend, or not a weekend, but a short trip away, I did have a find that the IKEA OBSERVATOR, this is item number 101.895.48, is a 4mm piece of, well, I believe it's steel. But what I don't know about these, obviously I can cut them and have lots and lots of spares, but I don't know if this is solid or if this is tube. So because I don't know that, I also bought something else while I was out of town. I'm going to drop it here, but here it is. This is a piece of piano wire. This is 5/32 of an inch, or 3.97mm, or as I like to call it, as near as makes no difference for the purposes of this project to 4mm. Slides through there nicely. It's a nice tight fit, so that's my backup plan if I can't cut these IKEA braces carefully enough. So I'm going to go now and see if I can cut a piece off and come back and show you what it's like. It is indeed very hot in my hand, but it is solid tube. So if you need that part for your Tamiya Hornet because it bolted at full speed in reverse into a wall and it bent that axle, go buy the IKEA ones because they're polished and they are solid. So what I'm going to do now is try and figure out how I can cut this as neatly as possible to the right dimensions, because that is a severe shortcoming on my part. I'll be back in a moment. Alrighty, a junior hacksaw and a file, a quarter cut bastard, and this is the original and here's the replacement. Weight wise they feel quite similar. I'll probably cut this new one slightly too long, but I'm hoping that the difference of about 0.5 mm at either end with the flex in the frame is probably not going to be too big of a difference to be compensated. Plus this one is a little bit bent. Going by the specs, it said 95mm, and looking at it, it goes nicely through the gearbox assembly there. So I'm going to have a go at reassembling the Hornet, so hopefully we've got something to drive on the long weekend. Alright, it is back together. It all appears to be doing what it should, so now I guess put the back wheels back on, put the thing back together and give it a test run, and hope to God I've done it right. So yeah, I'll get that. Hold on, that IKEA part number again, the name of it is the OBSERVATOR, OBSERVATO with a little thingy above it, R, and the part number is 101.895.48. You get 2 of them, they're 1 meter long each, and if you consider that, well, you get about 9 per length, so that gives you 18 spares, which should hopefully be more than enough times that I ever plan to wreck the Hornet. But the next thing I'll do after I put it back together is I'm going to test the failsafe, because this thing bolted when the transmitter turned off. So I'm going to check that the failsafe is properly calibrated this time around, and oh yeah, and I'm going to put that back in as well, so I'll get to that. And then I'll come back at the very end, hopefully once it's together. Alright, here we go. I've got this powered on USB at the moment. forward and reverse. The thing is, we get more power in reverse than we do in forward, so that's turning right. Oh, see, that's reversed as well. So I'm going to flick that. Everything's reversed. It's very strange. I'll have to look this up. There's got to be a reason. Anywho, oh well, that could be. That's probably not meant to be twisted. I'm sure that's meant to be about halfway. It's going, it's back together. Let's drive it and see how it goes. I need to look into the steering. I'm happy to report that we are back in business. I'm going to go and put this on the shelf in the house now, and my young fella is going to wake up in the morning to some really great news. He has been an absolute trooper. He's been pulled around this week from pillar to post, so I'm going to be so happy to give this back to him. And it's a long weekend, so we can go out and give it a burn and see what happens, see if we can't crash it again. Only kidding. It's excellent, really good news, great outcome. So if you have the same issue and you have an IKEA within 4 hours drive, go to IKEA. Unless you've got a model shop, in which case go to your model shop, support them. Alright, thanks everyone, bye bye.